Okay, let's go ahead and begin this tutorial. I was asked by a colleague of mine, Shaquille, to look into a program called PieHole. It's an ad blocker. If you see on the screen in front of you, I am using Elgato Game Capture HD60 Pro. This is a PCI Express add-on card. This is the new card for me, so I am testing it out. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and go to our remote session. I've already done quite a bit of work already. I accessed our Windows Server 2012 from our lab downstairs. I went ahead and installed a Ubuntu virtual machine, and let's go ahead and connect. Alright, so a couple of things that I need you to be aware of. First, I followed this tutorial myself. It's from this link right here. Just follow the instructions, but some of the instructions are not very clear, so I'm going to make some observations here. So as you go to your terminal, uh, let me see. Hold on a second. Alright, so when you initially install Ubuntu, you do want to make sure that you have all the updates. So go to the website and copy and that and go ahead and run it. That will do is it will update your system and it will reboot automatically if you do need so. After the reboot, system should be able to be completed. Now, a couple of items here. If you do download and install Ubuntu 18.4 and you upgrade to 18.04.1, you will have an issue. That's what I ran into the first time. So I went back, I downloaded the 18.4.2 directly and installed that, and it was able to configure the software correctly. So just keep that in mind. Do not install 18.4 and upgrade. Just go ahead and download and install 18.4.1. Alright, so uh, another thing that you want to be able to run is it's going to ask you to go down to the install PieHole. It's going to ask you to do this right here. But the problem is out of the box, this software here or this command curl, it's not available. So you have to install it. But just running the curl update and you should be able to download it. Once that curl thing is updated or downloaded, you should be able to put that into your command prompt. Once that is done into your command or the terminal, it's going to go into a series of actually installing it. So let's go ahead and go to the terminal, and that's how it starts. So let's go ahead and see what this installs. Let's see now. It does need a static IP address. We're going to go ahead and use Google DNS. That is a good way to use the DNS, so just leave it as it is. It says that it relies on third-party lists to order to block. So this is a list of all the available third-party lists, and these lists include all the ability to track all the block odds. So go ahead and continue. Select the protocols. We're going to use just IPv4. We really don't need IPv6 right now because we are not. If you are using IPv6, you can't keep that. It doesn't hurt. So we'll go ahead and just do that. Now what we're going to do is we are going to set it up as a static IP address. Now this virtual machine, it does have automatically the IP address assigned to it, but this way the actual software itself will have an IP address of .7624 with a gateway of 1.1, which is the actual router itself. So you could go ahead and continue. Let's see now. Okay, that's good. Oh, what this thing is basically doing is that if you do have your router set up for what we call a DHCP, and for whatever reason you turn off the machine and you turn it back on, and I mean the Ubuntu machine, it might pick up a different address, and so that's all it's telling you about. We're going to go ahead and install the web administrator, and we're going to go ahead and leave that. We're going to leave the login queries on. We are going to show everything, and it is starting to install. So that'll take a little bit for it to install. While it's doing that, I am going to go to my network settings. I'm going to go to my wired connections right there, and I am going to go to my IP address right here. And as you can see, the IPv4 address, it says automatic DHCP. What we're going to do is once the software is installed, I'll go back in here and I'll make this IP address static. We could have probably done it before we did the install, but because I've already started the install process, we're going to go ahead and leave it running. And once it is completed, I will show you how to go back into your network in Ubuntu in order for it to take place. All right, so we have an IP address of 1.76. The router itself, I don't have IPv6, so it was not configured. And it looks like, oh, look at this. The admin web login password is this. So I highly recommend that you take a picture of this so that you do have the ability to go back into it. So take a picture of it, save it somewhere, and we could go back into it. Okay, so installation is complete there. Now, once that is complete, we are now going to go back to your wired connection, wired settings, and we are going to assign this a static IP address. We're going to do manual, and we are going to assign 192.168.1. Oh boy, 76. Okay, net mask is 255.255.255.0, and the gateway is 192.168.1.1, and that is our router. That one is going to be DNS is going to be Google, and Google's IP address for DNS, let's go ahead and look it up. We'll go Google DNS IP address. So let's go ahead and see which IP addresses we could be able to use. All right, so we're going to do the 8888. Let's go back here. And the IP address for DNS is 8.8.8.8. That should be enough. And by clicking apply, we have now converted this DHCP IP address to a static IP address. That is complete. Now, let's go back in here and see if we could PieHole. Oh, okay. So it's been installed. The question now is, how do we run it? Let's go back in here in the installation process. And once it is installed, okay. All right, so once it's installed, we should be able to go to the web browser, which is, let's go ahead and use this one. And let's go ahead and attempt to log on 1.1.76. But before we do, like I said, I'm going to look at my picture. And, oh, that's what I forgot. Okay, so /admin. And look at that. So now we have a working PieHole which has been installed on Linux. Alright, so that ends the tutorial on installing. Once I do start messing with it, I will go back and I will make another video of it. For now, that's all I have. Let's go ahead and stop the recording. Let's see now. And we'll see you later.